And we are alive back in an undisclosed location deep in the heart of Kansas. I am your Wizard of Oz coming to you live, Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. And we're bringing you the information that we hope you will use to unindoctrinate yourself, showing you the yellow brick road to the enlightened city. I'm the wizard and there's no curtain, so we're here to show you how to get it done. Just back from LeakCon, as you can tell by the hat. The hat obviously is reflective and causes problems with the green screen, so we won't keep it on the whole time. But I wanted to thank Julian and Rex for giving me this ad, gifting it to me. It's number, you can see it's number 23. Oh, where is it? Number 23, 22 of 23 with Rex Bear's signature right there on it, complete with the 5G liner. Great cap. We'll leave it on just a few more minutes. RexCon was a great time. Great speakers, great people. We had a super nice time. It was a lot of fun. Everybody there, I think I can say everybody there was nice, and that's unusual to get that many people together and not have at least one jerk. So it was fun. It was enjoyable. A lot of learning, a lot of great, I guess we can still call it fellowship, even though we're not Christians anymore. It was a good time. I got to meet Jay Campbell for the first time in person. I got to meet Wayne Steiger for the first time in person. Was with Rex for about the fourth time. I think Heidi for the second time. Nice to see people again and nice to meet people. And many of you we got to meet that we had never met. Some people that we were hoping to meet didn't get a chance to get out, but that's just the way things go sometimes. And thanks to you that were there. Thanks to you that used the live stream to take advantage of being there virtually. And still thanks to you that couldn't be there, wanted to be there. Jessica purchased the live stream. That was a great time. It was had by all. I can certainly testify to that. Another religious word. Became friends with John D'Souza. He'll be on The Last Stand with Jay and I. I bought 3 of his books. And we're going to be going through some of them as well on this channel. So a good time really was had by all. LeakCon 2019, and I'll drop a spoiler alert. LeakCon 2020 is already being planned. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and talk about what we're here to talk about today, and that is choosing this day whom you will serve, ladies and gentlemen. Going back to the book of Joshua, of course, and this goes to the fundamentals. It's one of those one of those things that all Christians, all people that have been to church have heard. All people that have been to church have said these things, but you got to, and they do such a great job at hiding what's really going on. They do such a great job of disguising what's really going on. And I got to tell you, folks, that we're here to set the record straight today, and I can't wait to do so. Let's take a look at the book of Joshua, and we're going to look at Joshua chapter 24. And I'm going to start down low because I'm going to start where a lot of you are. A lot of you are here today, and I continue to take a bunch of criticism by dummies that are too unsophisticated to figure it out. You say the Bible's not true, but you still preach from the Bible. You still teach from the Bible. How can you say it's not true and then still teach from it? Well, because, dummy, if you'll listen, it's very evident that I say the Bible's not true. Maybe 1% of it is truth. It's diamonds that you can pick out of the midst of dung. But I also tell you that it is the enemy's plan of attack against us. It's the enemy battle plans. And we have captured the enemy battle plans, and we're going through to show you what the enemy intends to do to us, to show you how they're doing it to us, and to show you how they are bragging that they're doing it to us, ladies and gentlemen. They have screwed us up one side and down the other, and not in a good way. They've twisted us up. They've got us so messed up, we don't know top from bottom, up from down, back from front, and that's just the way they want us to be. And here's where most people are today, ladies and gentlemen, in this fear and guilt control matrix after 2,000 years of I wonder if I should probably try to move my seat up a little bit, shouldn't I? I'll do that before the next show. After 2,000 years of inculcation, enculturation, after 2,000 years of brainwashing from the fear and guilt control matrix, this is where most people are. People like me, people like Wayne. That's all I can think of. There might be some more, but all I can think of is people like me, people like Wayne. People like Dan from Overwatch channel. Need to get him back on. It's been a long time. We try to tell you that you have your choice of gods. This God of the Bible, this puny God of the Bible is not the only God. There's other gods. And I can't think of one that's worse than the Bible God. But anyway, people are saying, God forbid, this idea that there's other gods, this idea that there's other gods just blows some of your minds. How can this be? There's other gods. But I thought the Bible says the Lord your God is the only God. Well, that's what it says, but it's not true. How can a book say, I, the Lord your God is one. There's no other God than me. But yet he says right here, why do you want to serve other gods? That's called lying. That's called hypocrisy. That's called contradiction. And you say, Christians, that your book doesn't have any contradiction in it. Well, unless you are so unsophisticated as to say, no, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to close my eyes, pretend it's not real. It'll go away. Your book is full of contradiction. Here's one of them. And people today that realize there's other gods are having their mind blown by that fact. And then when I recommend that you forsake the Lord, get rid of him, he's a bad God. Let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. If you were ladies, it's hard for me to talk to one or the other because we're almost 50-50 in subscribers. But ladies, if you were with a man and he was jealous, he was wrathful, he took vengeance, he could not control his temper, he flew off the handle and killed people and broke things, would you stay with him? Gentlemen, if you were with a woman who was wrathful, if you were with a woman who could not control her anger, if you were with a woman who was jealous, if you were with a woman who was demanding of you, Andrea says, nope, I divorced him. Would you stay with her? Well, you've got a God that by his own admission, the Lord thy God is a jealous God. By his own admission, the Lord thy God is a wrathful God. By his own admission, he's killed millions of people. But you're still staying with this God. You're a battered spouse. You've got battered spouse syndrome. You've got Stockholm syndrome. You won't leave him. Why? Well, we thought he was the only God. No, he's not the only God. He's not the only God. So people say the fact that there's other gods, mind blown. Oh my gosh, there's other gods. But you want me to leave the Lord to serve another God? Oh, are you kidding me? You want me to leave the God of the Bible, the 2,000-year fear and guilt control matrix God of the Bible? You want me to leave him? Do I want you to leave the one that is jealous? Do I want you to leave the one that is wrathful? Do I want you to leave the one that has killed? Yes, I do. I want you to believe him. I want you to leave him, not believe him. I want you to stop believing him because in the middle of every belief is a lie. Think about that. But God forbid that we should forsake the Lord. Why? Why? Do you like being under fear? Do you like being under guilt? Do you like being under control? I'm just asking. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning. And it says here, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the King James. I don't think I have the King James. Let me get King James. All right. So here we go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's where we all know this. Choose you this day whom you will serve. Choose you this day whom you will serve. One thing I want you to notice that you've probably never noticed before is that you do have a choice. You do have a choice. You can fear the Lord, and notice that he wants you to fear him. Watch this. Watch this. The Lord wants you to fear him. Well, Jeff, it means reverence. It means respect. Bull. I'm not going to say it because I'm the new, kindler, gentler Jeffrey. It doesn't mean respect. It doesn't mean reverence. It doesn't mean awe. It doesn't mean anything other than afraid, affright, to fear. Look, all you Bible scholars that want to tell me, oh, fear of the Lord means respect. Do you see respect amongst those definitions? I'll wait. Do you see reverence among those definitions? I'll wait. What do you see among those definitions? To fear. To fear. Afraid, fear, afraid, fear. How would you like to have a spouse that wants you to fear them? No? You wouldn't like to have a spouse that wants you to fear her? You wouldn't like to have a spouse that wants you to fear him? Isn't it fun to be in a relationship where you walk on eggshells, worried that you're going to offend the other person? Isn't that a great time? Isn't it fun to have a relationship where you got to walk on eggshells, being afraid that they're going to snap? Isn't that a great time? Yet you will fight me, you will curse me, you will kick me. Some of you will want to try to kill me, literally, because I tell you that your God is an abusive, murdering, jealous, wrathful, lying entity who wants you to fear him. Not only does he want you to fear him, he also wants you to serve him. Work, serve, slave, be a slave, become slaves. He wants you to fear him, and he wants you to become his slave. You want a woman that wants you to be her slave? Well, some of you do, but we're talking not in that context. This isn't 50 Shades of Jeff this morning. Do you want to be a slave serving out of fear? And it's interesting. He gives you fear and servitude, but what does he want from you? From you, he wants complete soundness. From you, he wants sincerity, and from you, he wants truth, firmness, faithfulness, and truth. He's a God that changes his mind and does what he wants. He's the God that's jealous and wrathful, but from you, he wants your best, sincerity and truth. And because he offers you so much, he wants you to cast aside the God your father served. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. The God your fathers served. I'm from Ireland. We had a relationship with those beings called the Tuatha Dé Danann, and I know I pronounce that terribly. But they were gods and goddesses, I think probably the Elohim, that we had relationships with. And they weren't all nice. They weren't all super sweet, but they were what they were, and they didn't hide who they were. And many of them, including Danu herself, was a wonderful personage, a wonderful deity, a wonderful goddess. Why would I leave Danu to come worship the Lord? Why? That's not really the point of this program. The point of this program is that you have a choice. Find out, Heidi's always talking about find out the day you were born so she can give you an accurate Vedic astrology reading. Heidi Vandenberg, channel 27, here on YouTube. And Anna Navarro was there, Raven Wolf channel. She was given reading after reading. Everyone that I talked to that had got a reading from her was blown away at how accurate she was. And I had never met Anna, but it was my pleasure to meet her and sit beside her and talk with her. Very gifted reader. So if you want to have some readings done, Anna Navarro, Raven Wolf channel, she's very, very good. But the point of this program today is that you do have a choice of gods. And I would encourage you to look at your heritage. Where are you from? Not Brooklyn, not Poughkeepsie, not Seminole, Clearwater, Florida. Where are you from? Where is your spiritual heritage? Are you Native American? I don't really think there's any Native Americans. Are you American Indian? Everybody that was born here is a Native American, but I'll get myself in trouble. Are you an American Indian? Well, look at American Indian spirituality. And guess what? American Indian spirituality isn't just one blanket. That was kind of funny. I didn't mean to say that, but there's differences of belief even among tribes. So find out about your tribe. If you're from Northern Europe, find about your beliefs. Are they Celtic? Are they Viking? Are they Slavic? Not Slavic, but Nordic. Find out about your gods. Are you from Africa? Well, find out about your gods. Wherever you're from, find out about your gods. The gods that your fathers, your ancestors served. The gods. What do they have here in the Hebrew for gods? The Elohim. Which one of the Elohim? The gods and goddesses, male and female, plural. Which ones did your fathers worship? The point is that you have a choice, ladies and gentlemen. You have a choice. And right here, the prophet Joshua is saying, look, you can fear and become a slave of this being that calls himself the Lord if you want to. Why in the world would you want to sign up with, oh, yeah, I want to be a slave. Yeah, sounds good to me. Sign me up. I want to live in fear. Yeah, sounds good to me. Sign me up. I want to murder. Yeah, sounds good. Sign me up. I want a wrathful, jealous, vengeful. Yeah, sign me up. I don't know why you would. I don't know why I did, but I unsigned. I crawled out from under the rock and I erased my name from the roll. I crawled out from under the rock and I erased my name from the roll. I cast Jesus out. I cast the Father out. I revoked my blood oath. I took back my soul. I canceled every covenant I ever made with the gods and entities of Christianity. No, Christ doesn't possess me anymore. I kicked that bitch out. No, the Lord doesn't possess me anymore. The Father doesn't possess me anymore. I kicked that bitch out too. I'm divine. I'm sovereign. I'm free. And I'm a little turned up about that. You, from your first breath, were divine, sovereign, and free. You weren't empty, and you're not empty until you ask something to come in. You're just possessed after. Don't let anybody lie to you. Don't let anybody's ludicrosities and fears and lacks of understanding cost you your eternal soul. You can pick the Lord if you want. If you're very, very unsophisticated, very, very masochistic, you can pick the Lord. But there's lots of other gods out there. Look at the gods your father served. Consider them. And it's not just Jeff that's saying this. Joshua said, look, if it's unpleasing in your sight to serve the Lord, hey, Joshua says, if you don't want to serve this being called the Lord, if you don't want to serve the Lord, if it's unpleasing to you, if it causes too much adversity for you to serve the Lord, if you don't want to be cheated on, beat up, lied to, victim of jealousy, if you don't want to be a slave, if you don't want to live in fear, if you don't want to endure the adversity, they're telling you that having him as your God brings adversity. Well, some says, I've been wanting to get my degree. Not university, adversity. If you don't want to, look, if it's unpleasing, if it's adversarial in your sight, in your eye, if you decide that you don't want to serve this puny, bastardly God, guess what? You can choose. You can choose. And you can choose this day, ladies and gentlemen. This day you can choose. You can choose which God that you want to be your God. The gods that your father served, the gods of the Amorites, if you wanted, because they were in that land. You're in the land of the United States now, most of you, or wherever you are. You can choose the gods of that land where you're living. But Joshua, for some reason, said, as for me and my house, we'll serve the Lord. I mean, it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be a slave, if you want to become a slave of the Bible God, it's up to you. If you want to become a slave of the Bible God, it's up to you. I don't know why you'd want to, but it's up to you if you want to become a slave of the Bible God. And this is when we get back into this cognitive dissonance. These people that say they're not Christians but are. People all over YouTube today trying to say, oh, no, we're not Christians. We've left the fear and guilt control matrix, but still want you under the blood. Still want you under that salvation matrix. Still want you to have the crucifixion implants in your body. Still want you suffering from mad sheep disease. Still want you suffering from 7-level blood poisoning. Still want you under fear and guilt control matrix. Still want you under Stockholm syndrome, but they want you to switch it from the Bible God to their ministry. So now that you serve them and pay them and come to them and trust them and love them and look to them for your information. That's why they're Christian light, because they want to be the new sheriff. No, that's not a good correlation. They want to be the new massa. They want to be the new soul farm leaders. They want to be the new wardens. They want to be the new underlords of the Lord. Listen, you can't be a little bit pregnant and you can't be a little bit Christian. I've shown you that until you absolutely expunge every scintilla of a molecule, of an atom, of a proton, of a neutron, the smallest, littlest particle of the Christ virus has to be gone. Even Joshua says it. It's either or. Serve your gods or serve the Lord. You can't do both. But yet there's people all over YouTube wanting you to believe you can do both. You can be a Christian truther. You can be a washed in the blood, not believer in the Bible. No, you can't. Far be it from us to forsake the Lord to serve other gods. The Lord brought us and our fathers out of the land of Egypt. Oh, did he really? And by the way, how did he do that? By killing a bunch of people. He brought you out of the house of slavery, but wait a second, he wants you to be slaves to him. Oh, he redeemed us from slavery to Egypt, but now he wants us to be slaves to him. He protected us throughout our journey. He protected you during the journey he took you on. Why didn't he take you on a safer place? He leads me beside the still waters. He knows that if a sheep falls into a deep water, they're dead. But he still leads you along those paths. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for the Lord's with me. He led you into the valley of the shadow of death. Why? So you'll always be afraid, and you'll always be turning to him. If you had a good God, they'd keep you as far away from the valley of the shadow of death as they could. If you were a good God, they'd keep you away from the still waters where you could fall in and drown. If you had a good God, they wouldn't prepare a meal for you in the presence of your enemies. They'd take you to a safe place. I don't know how much plainer it can be made that the God of the Bible is a psychopathic God, and the people that worship him are psychopaths. And the people that try to say, oh, we're not really psychopaths, we're just use parts of the psychopathic paradigm, but we're really good. Come on, man. Bottom line today is that you can choose from among gods. There's not just one God. There's many gods. You can make a choice between the gods that you want to serve. How do you buy a car? Do you buy a car, you sit in it, and it's super uncomfortable? You drive it, and it drives horribly. It looks ugly. You hate it. Do you buy it? Why do you find a God that wants you to be his slave, that wants you to live in fear, guilt, control, that's jealous, that's wrathful, that's vengeful, that has killed his own followers many, many times, why do you take that for a test drive and say, yeah, I'll take it? And why do you give your most precious capital, your very life, your very eternal life, you give to him? When you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, when you ask Jesus and the Father to come into your life, you are inviting yourself to be possessed by two entities that guarantee that you have sold your soul to them, you have ceded your opportunity for immortality, and you have locked yourself into eternal life in these rotting, dying, bleeding, burping, crapping bodies. What a deal. And not only do you get mortal life eternally, you get to be their slaves eternally. You get to live in fear eternally, guilt eternally, control eternally. But if you stay around long enough, you get to put fear, guilt, and control on other people. That's the reward in that system. Do you really want to be that person that's selling fear? Do you really want to be that person that's selling guilt? Do you really want to be that person that's selling control? Do you really want to be the one that's selling mad sheep disease? Do you really want to be the one that's selling the possession by the creepy Christ and the big daddy? Do you want to be selling the human sacrifice? Do you want to be selling the blood magic? Do you want to be selling that? Do you want to be buying that? The sooner you divest yourself and get rid of all of that stuff out of your life, the better you'll feel. The better you'll feel. Ladies and gentlemen, you're either free or you're not free. You're either divine or you're not divine. You're either sovereign or you're not sovereign. You can't have a little bit of blood. You can't have a little bit of crucifixion. You can't have a little bit of creepy Christ. No. Because if you've got any of it, remember what they said? A little leaven will work its way through the whole lump. And the whole lump, that's you, will become corrupted. It's your choice. Which God do you want to serve? There's good gods out there. And here's another little hint. You don't have to serve any of them. You're divine. You're sovereign. You're free. Jenny Moonstone said it very well. She said, I don't worship any gods, but I do have relationships with a few. I love that. I live that. I don't worship anything either. I don't. Somebody says all my gods are Hindu. Well, number one, you don't know me. And you probably don't know the person that you said all their gods are Hebrew either, or Hindu. Choose this day. You have a choice. You have a choice. Choose this day whom you will serve, the Lord, the liar, the cheater, the killer, the jealous, the vengeful, or some other gods. You can be like Jack Nicholson. You can say to the Lord, go sell crazy somewhere else. We're all stocked up here. You can do that. I've done it. But Jeff, you want me to cast out Jesus? You want me to cast out the Father? Well, if it's easier for you, just say, I want to remove all the crucifixion implants from my energetic body. Maybe that's easier for you to accept. And I'm reading John D'Souza's book, Clear Hearers. He's saying the same thing I'm saying, but from another perspective. And I can't wait to get into that with you. What a great time we had over at LeakCon. I still want to call it RexCon. We had a great time. We had an enjoyable time. I want to say thanks again to Julian, tinfoilcaps, I believe.com. That's where you can find out all about, I believe it is tinfoilcaps.com. You can find out about these hats and the other clothing that goes with it. Julian's a great guy. He's over in Britain. He's going to be making some Christian whistleblower stuff. We're very happy to that. Thanks to Rex for inviting us. And we got to meet Fex too, False Rex. So thanks to Rex for inviting us. Diamond did a great job organizing the event. The speakers were tremendous. And as Michelle says, the inaugural LeakCon was a smashing success. So choose this day whom you will serve. You can serve the Bible God if you're a spiritual masochist. 50 Shades of Christianity, and not in a good way. You can serve the gods of your fathers. You can serve the gods where you are now. You can serve any gods, ladies and gentlemen, that you want to serve. It is up to you. You can serve any gods that you want to serve, ladies and gentlemen. Or you can serve no God because you're divine, you're sovereign, and you're free. Let's look in the chat room real quickly. India is the cradle of civilization. That's one opinion, India, or Cynic. You've shared it. Please don't become rude. It was a great pleasure to meet you. Oh, Chase was there. That's right. Chase gave me a great painting. It was great to meet Chase. It really was. Enjoyed very much. Exodus, I'm great. Nice to meet you. Let's roll up to the top of the chat and say hi to some people and try to interact as much as we can, answer any questions that might have popped up. And of course, my stuff is messing up on me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think jealousy can be deceptive because of ego and pride. There's no such thing as good jealousy. There's no such thing as redeemed jealousy. Jealousy is bad. Jealousy is unbalanced, period. There's no good jealousy. 50 Shades of Yahweh, so much Stockholm, so much time. It will never change unless we as a species change it with our thought processes. Yes and no, girl with no name Spooner. We can change it individually in our lives. And the more of us that change it individually in our lives, the greater a chance we have of changing it corporately. That's my belief. Because I believe that we are strong, energetic beings. I don't believe, there's a lie in the middle of every belief. Hanging out with Halo is good for you. I know that we can change it. We change it individually and it'll change collectively. And please subscribe to this channel. Please make sure you're still subscribed. Somebody got mad at me. I had a mass exodus of their followers on my channel. And thank you for leaving. If you are a follower of a channel that said you should unsubscribe from Jeff and you did, thank you so much for leaving. Because we don't want that kind of energy here. We want a strong and a firm foundation. We want an energetically balanced foundation. We don't want that type of a vibration here. So if someone on another channel said, I've subscribed from Jeff, you should subscribe from Jeff, and you did, thank you very much. Sincerely, I appreciate you leaving. And to all of you that did so, may I just say, well, bye. Thank you so much for that. And European Mutt is here. Wishy-washy Yahweh, that's for sure. A God is the demiurge. Yeah. The Quran Adis, in my belief, and thank you for commenting, the God of the Allah of the Quran, the Lord of the Bible, Jehovah of the Jews, it's all the same God, and it is the demiurge in my estimation. 38 years I've been studying it. I think that's who and what it is. Alien Jesus is in the car. Warrior Queen, I got to bring him in, and I'm going to put him up here in the bunker somewhere, although I don't know where he can go. But he was a smashing success as well, and it was so funny because there was a ladies' church group that came in right next to us while we were there, and they're all looking at Plastic Jesus like, what's that? And you know me, I was walking with a few of them, and I had to say, ladies, did you happen to see that Jesus thing up there? Like, oh, yeah. And ladies in their church dresses dropping F-bombs and all that. And they're like, it's so bad. What a horrible person must have made that. And they said, what do you think? I said, oh, I agree with you, ladies. Every word. Oh, my. Nice to see you, Space Cake. Nice to see you. Let's just say hi to everybody. Warrior Queen, Crystal, Infinite, Shannon, Charlie, Miss Space Cake, Barry, Girl with No Name, TT, Lit T, Warrior Queen, Twisted, Is B, Wishy Washy Yahweh, Adiz, as aforementioned, Nancy. He was jealous. Fan of everything. Tracy Roberts, Joyce, Depth of Thought is a lost art. Jeannie Griffin, nice to see you. Jen is Basque. Jen's probably RH negative then. That's interesting. David Castle, Cherokee Blackfoot, Shannon King, Cherokee Irish Scottish, Tracy, Tiffany G from Mexico and Germany. Very interesting. Infinite Life, Native American, David Grossner, Blackfoot, Leah Michelle, Potawatomi, Tribal Role. Interesting. Very interesting. Daniel Harry, Hindu. Philip, we did have a great leak con. Jen Morris once again. Jamie Smedley. She doesn't care to worship any deity. She is interested in working with, not worshiping. I like that. Corbin Sitton. Charlie says, is it wrong if I praise myself, Jeff? I don't know if you're joking or not, but I think it would be very helpful if you praised yourself in the right context. Praise yourself for the things you've done right. Praise yourself for things you haven't done wrong. Praise yourself for the positive steps that you're taking in becoming mentally, physically, spiritually optimized. Praise yourself for separating yourself from foolhardiness. Yeah, I would say that. I would definitely say that. Tracy Roberts, interesting advice. Look at your face, body type, match it to a particular culture, then compare the beliefs and culture. Barry Chad says, good. Lucky Stone says, I'm a mutt. TT says, my parents are both atheists. And I think you can choose any God. It doesn't have to be a hereditary God, but it might be. I would look at them first. Let's just put it that way. Ooh, girl, no name. Only I can change my reality. Boom. Ain't that the truth? Shannon King, Blazing River. Jamie again. Chase, we should hold our divinity above all else. I agree 100%. I agree on Cindy Minnie got her message deleted by Tracy Dwyer twice. So she was probably being foolish and silly. Crystal Colorful Dream World, very helpful information. Thank you. Lit T says that her grandpa says they had ties to British royalty. We won't hold that against you. Hello, Warrior Queen. Cindy Minnie's been deleted up one side and down the other. Cynic says the true God is Om Infinity Brahma. Thank you for sharing your opinion, Cynic. Paralee Hollywood, what's your belief system? What do you follow? There's over 2,000 videos here. Check some of them out and you'll get where I'm coming from. I don't want to be a slave. Perfect, TT. Let's see. All our gods are Hindu. Yeah, we read that. We appreciate your opinion. Heal thyself of the virus. Ooh, good job, Lit T. Jeff saved my marriage and my sex life, says Alexandros H. Really? Well, that's quite a compliment. I'm sure that I did not, but I'm very thankful for any help that I was able to offer you in those areas. And that's the kind of, I just got chills. That's the kind of stuff that makes what I go through on a daily basis worth it. Thank you so much, Alexandros H. The Bible was hijacked. Absolutely. Infinite life. I understand what you're saying, but you're still arguing from the Christ virus perspective, at least here. I mean, they say, first off, the God of the Old Testament and Jesus are two different entities. I think they meant to say entirely. Are you sure about that? And number one, Jesus is an impossibility. I'm telling you, I can tell from your comment that you're still infected with the Christ virus. I can tell from your comment you still got the seven level blood disease. I can tell you still are suffering from mad sheep disease. You're still trying to hang on. You're still trying to be a little bit pregnant. You can't do it, bro. That's just my encouragement to you. We have the divine power, always have been. And if you embrace it instead of fighting it, you will see how powerful you really are. Boom, Charlie D'Angelo. Salute. Salute. Love makes the world go round. Why do you think the earth is slowing? That's an interesting point. I'm not sure that it is, but I get your point. That's really good. Jeff made me go further into myself. Now I can't stop, says Lois, Warrior Queen. Love you, girl. Thank you so much. Jeff is not the only dictator on YouTube. No, I'm trying to be a benevolent dictator as much as possible. As much as possible. Let's see. There's a tomb of Jesus in Kashmir. Yeah, but that's not really him, bro, because he didn't really live. But we're not going to talk about that today. I worship no gods. Twisted Isby, good for you. Andrea Kepler. Philip Blair. What did the nurse say when he found a rectal thermometer in her pocket? I'm afraid to ask. And I didn't. Yeah, you're definitely still into that virus, Infinite Life. I hope you find your way out. And if you're here, you probably will. Oh, some asshole has my pen. Oh, that's funny. Okay, that was pretty funny. Little G Gods. The new church worships Jesus. That's your first clue. They're nuts. Yep. Boom. True God has no shape. I agree with that, cynic. See, you listen to somebody long enough, you'll find something to agree with them about. Can I mention another person I thank for my freedom? You can, but we might delete it. Dylan Forrest, Mr. Daugherty. I love what you're doing. I'm a new watcher here, but a longtime seeker of true divinity and what it looks like. I still have ties to Christianity, being baptized some time ago. Well, untie them, Dylan. They can be untied as easy as they were tied. Dylan tucks tie real good. A strange, random Meet the Parents reference. Give me twice. It sounds so nice. Infinite life, vomiting bodies. How do I reclaim my soul? You don't need to reclaim it. You just need to take it back from whoever you gave it to. It's my soul. I take it back. I cancel all covenants, agreements that I entered into. I take back complete divinity, sovereignty, and control of my soul. The three entities, if you count the spooky sounding Holy Ghost, yeah. The war god is literally a Martian. Oh, that's interesting. Like martial law. That's interesting. Someone here just overheard you, Jeffrey, and said you're spot on. Awesome. Where are you, Miss Space Cake? Someone overheard me. I love it. Chase says the secret is in escaping the reincarnation matrix. I agree 100%. Chase Corrington, Tracy Roberts, Leah Michelle, Lance Coles, denounce all gods, Jesus's, churches, religions, and any kind of control dogma, knowing the only one you need to get to this heaven you think you seek is you. I like it, Lance. Philip says, I don't like any God obsessed with death or blood sacrifice. Steve Stover says, good points, Jeff. Been looking into these things for the past 40 some years. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate helping in some little way. Alexandro, cynic, no, Jeff doesn't like goat meat, okay? Not sure what that means. Cast them all out, rid yourself of them. The inaugural LeakCon was a smashing success. Parley Hollywood, how did you do it? Lucy Ann, I'm divine, I'm sovereign, I'm free. Yes, ma'am, you are indeed. Lucky Stone is a caretaker to 2 leak caps. My wife hates them. That's all right. It was a great pleasure to meet you as well, Chase. Define God of the Patriots. I don't know. The creator is you. I am a God. What do I need with another? Boom. Constantly watching. Very well put. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks to all of you for being here today. Love you too, man, says Chris Rogers. Nice seeing you all here today. We'll be back with more podcast excellence throughout the day. Looking forward to kicking off some new stuff. John D'Souza coming on the show. Zachary Hubbard coming back on the show. Jay and I may do a last stand tonight since we weren't able to do it last night. But then again, we may not. A call for an uprising. Is that idiot? Yeah, I think that's that idiot. No, that guy's I'm going to take him off of here. That guy is a complete psychopathic moron. Anyway, we'll leave that there. Ladies and gentlemen. So, love you like a big brother, says Jamie. Why, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. I think. I'm pretty sure I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for today. I just thought of this yesterday driving home, and I think it's kind of cool. I'm gonna work on it. I'm in Kansas, so I can be the Wizard of Oz, leading you to the Emerald City, where you see that there is nothing behind the curtain. I think we're going to work on that somehow be a little bit of that, the Wizard from Oz or something like that. And sometimes we're like a tornado up in here too. So I think there's something we can work with there. Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, your Wizard from Oz. Boom. Blowing, huffing, puffing, and blowing down the house of big time religion. See, we'll get there. That's not a bad idea. Paralee Homewood says, hold a service for all of us who want to break ties and covenants. We'll do that. We are going to do that. I love that. That's a great, great idea. Who said that? Who said that? I'll forget who it was anyway. I can't remember who said it even now. I can't find it. The thing's rolling so fast. But we're going to do that. I'm going to write it on the board. I did meet with Wayne. He is a complete a-hole, and don't say anything else again or you'll be blocked from this channel. That's how much I feel about that idiot. In fact, if he was here, I wouldn't even punch him because he's not worth it. I'd just bitch slap him. Sorry to you ladies, but you know what I mean. And on that note of peace and love and harmony, what does Robert Stanley say? I wrote it down and I wanted to start saying it. Robert Stanley says, and I like this, be calm, be kind, be creative, and be courageous. I like that. Guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, encouraging you, ladies and gentlemen, because you are the last generation of real humans. I want to encourage you to unindoctrinate yourself.